Welcome to the realm where the lasers beam bright. Rich Patrick and Jeremy lighten up your night, cutting through the dark with a laser beam. We're really glad you could join the stream. We're the laser makers, we're setting the pace. From engraving to cutting in this high-tech chase, whether wood or metal, glass or stone, we bring the magic right into your home. So gather round wherever you roam, find inspiration in our maker's dome. Subscribe and like, get in the game with Rich Patrick and Jeremy. Remember the names. Ideas light up, projects take form in the maker's realm. Creativity is the norm, so light the beam. Let's start the play with the laser makers, where we create every day.
Hey, hello, everybody.
That last picture didn't fool me this time.
It didn't fool me either.
No, I was ready.
Hey, Patrick. Hey, Jeremy. Hello, everybody out there watching.
Hello.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy to see you all tonight.
We're happy to see you too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I want to thank everybody so much for watching my video this morning about what's happened to me over the last week. I just felt that I needed to get that up and warn other people. So tonight is going to be hopefully a short or shorter live stream, about an hour or so. And I do not have a file ready tonight, but Patrick and Jeremy did come through with files, and I'm going to actually put that link to that file, so you can follow along with us in the comments right now. So there you go. Right now we're live in 4 different places, so that should have went out to all 4. And go ahead and download and unzip the package for tonight. See which one that you want to do. I'm doing the easier of the 2. Patrick's file. Thank you, Patrick, for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already got that set up on the CO2 behind me, and we're ready. We're ready to get started. Thank you, Jerry. I really appreciate that. But I've gotten a lot of rest today, and I think I'm good to go for tonight. So, Patrick, tell us what's going on with you.
Well, do you want me to show everybody tonight's file?
Sure. Yeah.
I can do that real quick. It's been a rough week. I've been so sleepy and tired. It's just hard to stay awake.
Ah, me too.
It's been a struggle. Yeah. But as you can see, here's my laptop. It's on this nice little stand. So I designed that in Lightburn from scratch, and you guys are going to get the file to make this little laptop stand.
So the benefit of having this stand, and I really always wanted to make one of these, I just never got around to it, is that it helps your laptop to run smoother and cooler. And everybody should really be using this. I do have a chiller one, or electric chiller one in my bedroom, but this is great to have if you don't have the electric style.
I think I'm going to be making this tonight and or this week and putting mine on it, because I've got dust buildup on my fans all the time from in my shop.
Yeah, everybody needs to have it.
I did put a little glue on this because I ran it without a kerf. But if you run this with a kerf and get nice tight joints, you could end up not gluing this together and then just take it apart And
Well, we're going to find out tonight because I loaded your file and I'm just going to run it with. I haven't done a kerf test on this new CO2 yet, so I'm going to run it with a 0.1. Jeremy suggested that earlier. That's pretty much the standard, the standard setting. But Jeremy, you've got a file for everybody
I do.
as well.
I have a 2 for tonight.
I got you.
Okay. So, door hangers, window hangers, these little holes up here are for the twine. And, oops, this one says gather. And I just threw some paint that we had laying in the shop on it together. So there's one. And then here's the other one that my girls painted for me. And, again, there's holes up here to run the twine through it. So, yeah, just little door hangers for the fall season. Sunflowers. Seems like everybody likes sunflowers. So you're going to get both of those tonight.
Awesome.
And I'm running that one right now.
Cool. And Patrick, do you have something else that you wanted to talk about tonight?
yeah, I did. I've had this rotary here for a little while. And I'm sure some of you saw me use this or saw the video or saw it in one of my live streams, but let me transition over. But here I have the Rotoboss Talon.
Oh, yeah. That's the bomb.
And this guy will work with your regular CO2 gantry type laser. Then this unit here will disconnect from the frame, and then you can mount this directly on your Galvo bed so that you can use it either in this orientation or any angle up to 90 degrees with your Galvo laser. So it works with CO2 gantry, Galvo, whatever. But it's been rock solid. It's a great product. And I thought, well, why don't we just have the guy who created the Rotoboss Talon as a guest on our live stream?
And we would, but looks like we just lost him.
Oh, yeah, he did just disappear.
We did just lost him. But anyway, if you haven't heard of Rotoboss, they're basically a leader in engraving rotary attachments. They're adjustable for cylindrical objects, tumblers, mugs. There's all kinds of configurations, all kinds of different models on the Rotoboss website. And then they're also introducing a line of air purifiers called Apple Air. And what we're going to do is just have Jason on to talk about the air purifiers and
he's coming back.
The rotaries, but he is a veteran. This is a veteran-owned company, and hey, let's support a veteran-owned small business.
And we want to thank you all for your service, Jason. Welcome to the Laser Makers Realm. So, Jason, tell us a little bit about. Doing great. It looks like he has a slow connection, but tell us a little bit about Rotoboss, the company, the history, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. So, started out a long time ago doing woodworking, stuff like that, and kind of led into lasers. And about 2018, after I've been using lasers for quite some time, got tired of the stuff that they had already. The stuff you used to get standard, and some laser companies still send them out. But yeah, we're just trying to make a solution to a problem and kind of take the best of the rotary roller and the chuck world and kind of put them together. And that's kind of what we came up with the Rotoboss, and then everything else that we've come up with since then has basically just been adding on to the different versions, whether to make it a little bit cheaper or more affordable for people. We've got budget rotaries for your smaller lasers and things like that. The diodes, the K40s, things of that nature. And then for basically any other laser running on Lightburn, RDWorks, or EasyCAD. So that's kind of kind of how it all got started. That got started around 2018 when I had my first, just something I made for myself. And then 2019 decided to try to make a viable production product for people, and then that's where that kind of stemmed from.
And the
So
rest
it's
is
been a
history.
yeah, pretty much as they say. It's been a fun trip.
Tell
A
us a
lot of
little bit
people
about this
like
about this new venture, the Apple Air USA.
yeah. So with the Apple Air, I've been looking for solutions for quite some time. You know, there's other companies out there. Not going to mention names, but you guys know who the major players are.
Yeah.
And you know, looking at their machines, one, for what they are, they're severely overpriced. And what I mean by that is, you know, you're paying 10 to, well, $6,000 to $20,000 on a filter system,
Yeah.
um, that you have
Plus
to
the
pump
refills.
thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of filters throughout the
Yeah.
year.
Yep.
So what had happened is, a buddy of mine that I used to deal with that was in the laser business down in Australia, left the laser business and decided to start with air filtration. So, if anybody's seen any of our videos for the road trip to Australia, that was part of it. Going
Hmm.
down there and taking a look at the stuff that he had. And then, of course, we collaborated on our Freedom series, the signature series, that allows you to vent back in the room, captures things down to like zero point 0.1 microns.
Right.
Uh, it's 100% safe to vent back into the room. I mean, obviously, you'd probably want some other stuff to catch minuscule things, but in and of itself, it can actually clean the room as it's cleaning the smoke and stuff that's coming off of what you're actually engraving. So it's not really meant to be a room cleaner, but one of the videos that we have on there, um, brought it from like 440 something parts per million in the room, and
Yeah.
about 2 hours later, that was almost zero in
Wow.
the room. So not only was it cleaning what was coming out of the laser, but it was also cleaning the room as well. So that was really impressive. Um,
Right.
but so that kind of led me to, okay, well, you know, I've been looking for a solution. I know other people have too. People with HOAs, nosy neighbors, you know, apartments, things like that, where you venting
Mhm.
outside is not really an option. So that's why we came up with that one in particular. And in doing so, obviously, I chose to. Well, I was asked, but I was also interested in being a USA distributor. So that's kind of what we've done. So our first shipment should be in around the first part of November. Um, right now, anything purchased right now will get free shipping until that point. Um,
Right.
and the replacement filter costs on this, from our smallest machine to our biggest machine, is roughly $500 to $2,000 a year in replacement filter costs.
Right.
So like our signature series is $69.95, which is about $1,000 more than, not even really a comparable comparison to the other companies, but um, for $1,000 more, you know, up front, yes, it is a little bit more, but in the long run, the maintenance, upkeep, things like that, it's a lot cheaper to
Yeah.
keep up and maintain, because probably 60% of the filters, at least in the bigger machines, are completely washable. We got E-stat filters in there, which catches a lot of the soot and tar and things like that off of wood and acrylics. We got HEPA filters, we got charcoal filters. I mean, there's 28 filters, I believe, in that one
Wow.
unit. Um, and you're still pulling about 1700 CFM. Uh, so depending on the machine, they're rated for multiple machines, single machines, things like that. But yeah, so I guess the easiest way to put it is, you know, we were in the laser business with the rotaries, and we do laser engraving ourselves. So I figured, you know, why not give it a shot? Because I mean,
Wow.
health is is very important, obviously.
Yeah.
And like we even have
So,
one coming
question.
for my print room to where it'll actually vent the room, or it'll scrub the room, because I don't know if you guys deal with printing and stuff like that, but the
Yeah.
vapors and the toxins and stuff that come off the fumes,
Yep.
you don't really notice them, but you'll get that like itch or scratch in the back of your throat. You'll get kind of a sore throat feeling if you're in it for a while. So that one
Yeah.
there basically scrubs all that out.
My nose starts
Um,
to run when
yep.
in a print room.
Yeah, I get like stuffed up, and then I get that kind of scratchiness in the back of my throat.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, that one's for that, and then we've got a couple other filters and like home um, filtering options to where you can like put it in your office or in
Right.
your whatever space, and it can actually clean the air in the room as well. But yeah, Jeremy, you had a question, I guess.
I was just wondering if you're is there a size for like taking to shows so you can pop it under a table and or is this just for shops?
Right now we have one in works for shows specifically. But the closest one we have to it now would be the F40D, which is a small one. It's about 40 pounds. It's for fibers and things like that. If you're just cutting engraving basic stuff, you can even do some woods and stuff. But acrylics, you'll get rid of the VOCs, but you won't be able to get rid of all the smell with it.
Yeah.
Because it's mainly more for like small particulate stuff, but it'll take that itch out of the air, but you will still get that kind of aroma, if you will,
Yeah.
of the acrylic.
Yeah.
The acrylic still kind of showing itself. Same thing with like MDF, things like that, leather.
Well,
It'll get rid of all the VOCs, but it just with that particular unit, doesn't have enough filtration to completely get rid of everything.
yeah.
So if you guys want to get some more information on either Boss or Apple Air, I've got that website scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. And as you can see, Patrick has brought up some one of the sales pages there. That is a great price. I just ordered 2 air purifiers before I knew about this, Jason. That is over $6,000.
Man,
I
how
didn't
dare you?
even. I didn't even know about. I didn't even know about Apple Air. In fact, right before I ordered them,
That's all. No good.
I heard something, and I went and I searched, and I got Apple's website, so I couldn't find any
Yeah,
information anywhere.
our on the second line there, that first one should be the FML, or no, the top right one, FML. What's good about that one is if you already have a air system plumbed in or a ventilation system plumbed in,
Yeah.
you take this and put it in line with that.
Wow.
So there's no internal fans or anything.
So that's got
This one
UV
here,
in it and everything.
yeah, all of them except for the F40D have E-stat, UV, and ion filters built into them.
Wow.
And the machines come with a 2-year warranty for anything. The replacement cost, like the E-stat for that, is like $500, so it's fairly inexpensive.
Yeah.
But like I said, the good thing about this particular machine is it can handle a lot more volume based on the fan that you put in line with it.
Yeah.
So if you would need to pull from like 3 or 4 different machines, you just bump up your air or your air volume with the fan, and you can kind of tailor it to the needs that you have. So that one there would be kind of the most flexible. But the CFM on that one is based on whatever the fan is that you put with it.
I like the item number there, laser great.
So that makes it kind of good that way because you can expand. What's that?
Or is that, I don't know, that's something under Patrick's name, laser great.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so this is the most flexible one, just because you can put whatever fan you want in it. to control the volume of air that you're having to move.
Yeah.
The other ones are built to take up to 2 different units based on their size. So if you'll notice, it has like a total volume area. I don't know if it's in the short description, but on the main description, it should tell you in there what the main volume area is of it. So as long as you have machines that fit within that volume, it'll be able to handle multiple machines. And then we have upgraded fans you can put in them, but we didn't opt for those. One, because they run on 220, and a lot of people obviously don't have 220.
Yeah.
But if you do, we have upgraded 2 kilowatt fans that'll work fine, but you need to have 220 for them.
Yeah.
So we tried to keep everything 110, maximum 20 amps.
Yeah.
So that way, basically anybody can use it and not have any issues.
So these are.
So yeah, for portability, the F4020 or F40D would be the best one.
Yeah, these are great things to have, and when it comes to your health, you just can't get away with not venting all the fumes that you possibly can. And if you're in an enclosed area, you absolutely have to have one of these. And lots of people say, hey, they're expensive, but at some point if you're going to stay in this hobby, you just got to have one. You got to have one. So if you're in the market, please make sure that you go to Jason's channel. It's right there on the bottom, rotaryattachments.com, and take a look at him. Take a look at his rotaries. Jason is a military veteran. This is a veteran-owned business. He's highly respected in the community, and he makes super high quality products. I haven't actually bought one yet, but it is on my list. I've got an old type B type roll with the CO2 right now.
Compare the price of an air purifier to an emergency room visit. Then
exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Exactly, Patrick. I mean, it's just something that you need to have. I just wanted to address Ronnie real quick.
Ronnie, not only for your health, but
yeah. Ronnie says part of changing your life means putting down that vape. Yeah, but I put down the cigarettes. So, and these vapes are all zero nicotine. So, I mean, putting down the cigarettes, I have to have something to replace it. I'll eventually get rid of that. But anyway, so tonight, Jason's going to be with us for the whole night. If you have any questions whatsoever about what most people, what almost everybody that I know says is the best rotary on the market, then now is the time to ask him while Jason is here. You've got the owner, the inventor, the head of quality control, which is the best in the industry, right here with us tonight. So now would be the time to ask him in person if you've got any questions on the Rotoboss, the attachments, the different types of roller accessories that he's got, or whatever. I mean, he's a really nice guy. You've seen him on YouTube before, and he's here to answer your questions. But we're going to get started. Tonight, I'm taking a shortcut. I don't have a file, but I do have Patrick's file. Thank you so much, Patrick, for that quick and easy file, sticking with the theme of the channel, quick and easy projects that anybody can do. I'm going to go ahead and put that link back into the comments one more time. If you want to download the zip package with the 2 files that we're going to be doing tonight, I just put that link in the comments. Please go in there and download the projects and make them with us. There you can see Jeremy's got his project in there. I'm going to start getting mine set up, and I'm going to and there is another link too, Apple Air USA. I'm sorry, Jason, I didn't have that one. So so thank you for that. Thanks for putting that in there. So Apple Air USA or rotaryattachments.com are the 2 websites. In fact, let me go. I can edit that really quick.
All right, I'm just gonna say a blanket welcome to everybody. Sometimes we try to go through all the names, but we had a bit of a different start this morning or tonight, so I just want to say welcome everybody. Thank you for stopping by. And if you watched Rich's video this afternoon with us in the live chat, we appreciate it. The support that you're giving to Rich. So,
Yes, thank you so much for that.
okay,
yeah,
that's all I had.
Okay.
Welcome everybody.
That's cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to talk about the file that I'm doing. And let's see.
I have 30 minutes left on what I'm burning.
I need to actually find that in here. There we go.
Is that with the diode behind you?
No, I'm doing this on the CO2. The new RM750 90 watt CO2.
I asked about Jeremy.
Oh yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's the Mark II, Lasermatic Mark II from Raleigh Automation.
So this is the file that you're going to get from Patrick, and it's ready to run for 3mm acrylic, and I'm using a 3mm clear acrylic, as you can see by this camera over here. And I have not changed the size of this. My acrylic is actually 3.7 millimeters, but what I did do was I came in here and I put in a 0.1 kerf offset on it. So hopefully that's going to fit really snug. I'm going to run this at 1,080 millimeters per minute. I think that's like 18. Let me switch over
Do you do it inside or outside kerf?
It's going to be positive kerf. So it's just 0.1. Let me just take a look here real quick. It's 18 millimeters per second for you CO2 users. I'm using a max power of 60, a min of 25 for the corners, and just one pass. And that I got from my library for Cutting Clear 3. So hopefully that's going to work fine on this. And the only thing that I'm going to do is I'm doing this on the RM750, which is one of the nicest CO2s I think that I've ever had as far as quality and parts goes. And so the only thing that I'm going to do is make sure that it's in frame, and I can tell on this camera by watching the focus, and that looks good. And in a minute, I'm just going to go ahead and run this job, and we can get started with Patrick's project for tonight. So
And
I think
I'm going to be.
Go ahead.
I'll be running the same file, except running it on the look. There it is, on the Lasermatic Mark II XW right there.
Okay, cool. On wood?
It will be right here on 3mm birch plywood.
Okay, cool. All right, so you're going to do the 2mm plywood. I will do the 3.7 millimeter clear acrylic, and we'll see how that goes. I do have this already set up. I've got the air pressure at 14 psi, and I've got the focus. It does have a manual dual red dot focus, which I absolutely love. So I think I'm just going to, let me turn on did all this talk about fume extraction. I haven't turned mine on. Let me do that. That takes a minute for it to spin up. And then I should be ready to hit that start button, and we'll see what happens.
Louis, if you go up about 10 spaces in the chat, it has been posted.
What was that? Is he looking for the link to the?
Yeah.
We probably need to add the link to our descriptions. Just haven't got there yet.
Yeah, I haven't gotten everything done tonight, guys. I'm sorry. But I'm going to put the link in there right now for the files for you to follow along. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Thank you all for the for the comments and everybody that watched the video the quick video I did this morning on what happened over the last week. I really appreciate all the well wishes, all the good wishes. It really warmed my heart. Had hundreds of comments already today. Just made my day. Thank you so much. And there is that smell that Jason was talking about. I have a 1700 CFM air exchanger up in the attic, and the smell is still in here. Of course, I do have the front door open for the camera. If I used the light burn camera, you wouldn't be able to see it. Thomas, that is the RM laser, RM USA. And it is a brand new wholesaler from China that has made some top name. They used to be OEM branded only, servicing Australia and the EU, and they've just recently come into the United States. If you guys want to take a look at that, I'll put a gratuitous link in the description for you guys. And it's all top quality parts. Everything in it comes with a Recce tube, 100-watt Recce tube. Two of them, actually. One is a spare. All types of parts, dual stage air. It's just a wonderful laser at a budget price. They're still going to be selling them at wholesale.
I had this file set up with optimization settings, selected to remove overlapping lines, and then close the file, open it back up, and then, of course, that's unchecked on optimization settings. So I'm running lines twice.
I think I checked mine.
I wish
Doesn't look like
I wish it would just. It didn't stick with it.
Yeah.
it looks like mine's running it properly. I just don't know the difference. I used my setting for 3mm, and this is actually 3.7. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Edward. Very little smoke coming off of it, so I'm a little bit worried.
I've got plenty enough for both of us.
Yeah, what I see coming off looks like it's bouncing off the top too.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to go take a look at that before I move anything.
I had a couple pieces of plywood this week that I had to run it 3 times, and it still didn't get through some of the glue spots in this 3mm stuff. And it's from Freiler too. So it's like there's 2 sheets right in the middle of the pack that did that to me.
Jason, your machines have to move a lot of air when you were looking at the bed sizes that those were rated for. Just looking at how much smoke's coming off this little diode.
Yeah.
If you're cutting like some 1/2-inch plywood or something like that, on a full sheet machine, those things are moving a lot of air.
Well, I plan on doing some torture tests once I get mine here. The first batch comes in. I plan on lighting some MDF on fire, some acrylic on fire, doing all kinds of stuff to see how well they perform, like a worst case scenario, I guess you could say.
I'd tune in to see that.
I think
Heck yeah.
the lowest one is the F40D, and it's like 300 to 400 CFM. But again, that one's meant for your galvos and your really small stuff like the diodes and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But you get into the bigger ones, they're anywhere from, I think it's 14 to 2000 CFM. So it just depends on the model you get and what it's kind of geared for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made another I made another big cedar yard sign this week, and the smoke coming out the stack leading outside of my shop looked like I had a fire in the wood stove again.
All right, so as you guys can see, that cut perfectly. I was a little worried about using that 3mm setting, but it did cut it out perfectly. I'm going to start, before I put this together, I think my kerf is going to be a little tight. I'm not sure, but I got it like halfway in just by pushing on it a little bit. But I've got to go take that paper off, and I'll do that while we're talking about everything else. But it looks like it cut perfect.
I think it'll probably slide right in there once you get that paper off.
We'll see.
Yeah, I live out in the woods, and I have no neighbors, so I have my big CO2 venting out that way, and I have a big, not a big, it's my 6-inch inline fan that I have all my 4-inch routed to, and it just pumps it out the back of my shop out there. The chickens don't care; they just run around, do whatever they do.
So real quickly, there are 2 pieces, 3 cross members. I'm sorry, I didn't get the third one. I got to go back and get it. But you'll see that one is slightly larger than the other. The larger one goes on the back. The middle one goes in the middle. And then I got to go back and get one more piece, and that's the bottom one. So I'm going to start taking the paper off of all these and then see how they fit together.
Yeah, mine would have been done if it wasn't duplicating all those lines.
Okay. This is the worst part right here.
Hey,
really.
Rich, what machine are you using again?
This is the RM laser, the 90 or 90/100 watt glass tube CO2. It is super high quality, got all the bells and whistles, custom Ruida controller, dual stage air, everything you can think of with the highest quality parts. And it comes in less than the budget lasers. This one delivered is under $5,000 anywhere in the USA. And I did put a link, if you scroll back up to their USA website. They just launched last month, and they've got a couple containers now in Pomona.
It's good to see all these I mean, I'm partial to my lasers, but it's good to see a lot of these newer, or not newer, but these older companies starting to establish a U.S. based support, like Hyotin or Hyoshin, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah,
they just announced that they have one.
Yeah, they just partnered up.
Oh yeah, with BZ here in Michigan. He's only like 3 hours away from me.
Yep. So it's really good to see that they're making the effort to have US based support and warehousing. Because I mean, if you got a company that can deliver it in 2 weeks versus 2 months, I mean,
right.
A lot of people don't want to wait, even though they might be getting a subpar product.
Yeah,
they'd rather have it now than later.
Well, I really, what I like, I did a lot of investigation on this company before I actually endorsed them, and they have the support. You know, they're the actual manufacturer in China, and you know they use a lot of they use all high quality parts. So it's very unusual that you'll see, low end price wise laser in like something like this, a big desktop laser with Recce tube and with 2-stage air and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's just unusual.
Oh, and you're not wasting all your money on marketing and and stuff like that. Then it's easier to bring the product, the pricing down and stuff.
Yeah.
A 0.1 kerf on the Lasermatic.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's probably going to be the same on this one because I did run a ramp test on this when I first got it, and their dual dot focusing was spot on. I didn't
That's
change
not a laptop.
it.
I was trying to see if it was set on there. It's just not the right size.
Well, I'm about to test two pieces right now, so we're going to find out if it's right for me.
Here, this
Yep,
is it.
you might be
That's
okay
better.
since you took the paper off. That paper probably takes up about 3 or 4 thousandths as
Yep.
well.
Oh, look at that! Perfect
Nice.
fit. All right, so I can keep taking this paper off. Well, this is the worst thing about acrylic, especially when you got it double-sided paper and not like the plastic.
I hate taking the paper off.
Me
There we
too.
go. Quick little
Plastic
laptop
usually
thing.
indicates a poorer quality.
Yes.
At least in my experience, you get acrylic with plastic on it.
It's usually not cast.
Not good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually not cast acrylic with the plastic.
Yeah, I had someone, they ordered because for whatever reason they didn't want to wait for me to drive down the road and pick it up. They ordered it off of Amazon. I was like, make sure it is cast acrylic.
Yeah.
All this. So we waited 2 days. He got it. He brought it in. As soon as I peeled, because it was plastic coated, as soon as I pulled the plastic off, I could see the air bubbles
Yeah.
in the
Yep.
acrylic. So I knew right away it wasn't cast, it was extruded.
Yeah.
And then when I went to cut it and engrave it, it put off, well, it was black acrylic, but it put off a grayish smoke.
White smoke. Yeah.
Well, it was like a grayish smoke, and where it would engrave, it would kind of like cotton candy. It just kind of that fingery, fibery kind of offshoot that comes off of it. And I immediately stopped it, called the guy. I was like, "Look, this ain't gonna work." I said, "You need to come up with something better, or just let me handle it." And he finally just let me handle it, and we were good. But yeah,
And Jason,
I don't typically
I had the same experience with GW Laser. They sent me their cloud laser, and it came with extruded acrylic, and I really didn't realize it at first. Patrick can tell you, it almost killed me. It almost killed me.
The problem with it is not. It's not that it depends on the makeup of it, but typically that stuff indicates polycarbonate, which technically is acrylic.
Yeah.
But it's got the polycarbonate in it, which is what makes that spidery stuff that comes off of it.
Yes, that's exactly what I got.
If it's clear, it's typically going to be like a brownish orange smoke.
Yep.
Versus a white to like a light gray colored smoke. So those are a couple indications. But yeah, as soon as that happened, I was like, nope, I ain't messing with this stuff.
Yeah, well,
it was turning out like shit for one, and two,
it nearly killed me.
Oh yeah, that stuff is not good. It's like I'd equate it to if you took super glue and put a drop of super glue down.
Yeah.
And then a couple hours later, everything's covered with that white hazy film.
Yeah.
When you cut polycarbonate, it basically produces the same gas, and when that stuff gets on your rails, on your mirrors, on your tool heads, all that stuff, it'll eat them up.
Yep. It'll do damage to you and your machine.
Yeah, that's when you need good filtration with that crap.
Yeah. And I did have that big inline fan next door, venting directly to the outdoor.
Yeah.
And it was just, I had to get out of the shop. And when I got out of the shop, I walked straight into that cloud. And there was no wind blowing. And I barely, I made it halfway to the house. And fortunately, my son was here to come. He saw me and came and got me. But that was a nightmare experience.
That shit is no joke.
I
I mean,
actually
it's
haven't.
great
haven't
stuff
used that
because
laser
it's so
since.
flexible.
I mean, I would go get my tape out, but I just hate peeling this stuff. I usually don't peel it. I usually cover it with this orange tape.
Hey, we got a
Yeah,
question for Jason here. Are the Talon
Yeah.
Pros shipping now?
Not just yet. We're waiting on the rest of the parts to come in. The pre-order sales are going to get theirs before everybody else, but the official release is November 1st. And along with that, if you get a Talon Pro or an Ascend Pro, you'll save somewhere between $100 and $150 on each one of those right now until October 15th.
Wow.
Essentially, they're the same price as their counterparts. Essentially, during the pre-sale. So if you buy a Talon Pro, you'll get it for the price of a Talon. Same thing with the Ascend Pro. So, but yeah, they'll be shipping out hopefully by the end of this month, or well, hopefully in a week or two on the pre-orders, and then everything else will start shipping out November 1st.
November 1st will be here before you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So will November 5th.
Days are ticking off too fast.
way too fast.
Remember, folks, this is Jason is a veteran, military veteran. This is a veteran-owned business made in the USA. You know, so in my experience, anything made in the USA is going to be better than anything you can buy anywhere else.
All right. Well, I'm going to show Jason my Veterans Day plan here.
Hang on one second.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, you got it?
Go
Yeah, I
full
got
screen
it.
with that. There you go. That is badass. I like the three-dimensional aspects of it. That is cool.
I got yelled at because my other plane, somebody said this plane was I don't know, some Russian Su-35 thing. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to put the greatest American jet ever on there, and it's the A-10 Warthog. So I changed it up.
A-10 Warthog and the Huey.
Yep. I had a Black Hawk helicopter as well, but I like the look of the Huey on there a lot better.
Yeah, the Huey's just got more lines to it. Or better lines, rather.
Hey,
I
But that
want to
is
show
cool
everybody
as shit. I like
something
that.
pretty unique about the Talon here.
You got to do
This one
one,
lights
Jeremy,
up.
with the lone soldier. Do one like that with
What's
the lone
that?
soldier instead of do that same kind of setup, but have the lone soldier.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Guys
talking about,
notice-
right? Or no?
No.
There are
That's
4
the
jaws.
Oh yeah.
Let Patrick talk about that thing, and then you can tell me what you're talking
I
about.
just want to show them that they're something unique. It's the 4-jaw chuck.
yeah, that is unique. That's something that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I was able to hold a baseball bat with it.
Oh, nice.
Which is very
Yeah, still like your little adaptation there for your
Oh, my slave
Your
wheels.
rail.
I didn't.
or for
I
your
did-
support.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
need to use the other slave wheels. It ended up holding that baseball bat.
Okay, this is not as easy to put together as I thought it would.
No, Jeremy, what I was talking about, the lone soldier, it's the one where he's standing. He's got his dress uniform on, his Dixie cap, and he has a sea bag with him. That one would be pretty cool. Something like that.
I'll try to look that up. But that one has a LED light strip in the box underneath it. So when you plug it in, it lights up the flag behind him.
Oh, nice.
I'm getting down to the wire here.
I wish I could be
thank
that
you, William.
creative these days.
Well, I got yelled at because that one. So these are simple. This is what this whole show is simple, easy to do files. And that
Yep.
one up there's 15 pieces, and that's the one I came up with for the free file last week, or last time.
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with
Yeah.
anything simple. My brain wasn't
No, I
working for
think
simple.
I think it's just cool that you put the 3 dimension into it by having the separate pieces.
Mhm.
It definitely makes it stand out and more unique.
Is this
I have
lone-
one
is
or
this
two
the lone
people that are
soldier you were
making those
talking
for a
about?
display.
Yeah, it's like that, but that's not the whole picture. They usually have a sea bag at his feet.
Okay. I was looking for it. I can't find it.
I have the soldier kneeling at the cross with the
If
helmet.
you
and
if you
everything.
just type in lone soldier or lone sailor or I forget what it's called.
Okay, I've got to
Tells you
do
how
a
long
few
I've been out.
adjustments. I've got to do a few adjustments on this, but Patrick, your file was spot on. Look at that.
Awesome.
Came out
Yep.
absolutely perfect. I know you probably can't see it well on this camera, but
Here,
that
I'm gonna put.
go ahead.
I'm gonna put. So you guys can, or one of you guys can pull it up. Here's in a private chat. A link to a picture.
Okay, I'll grab
That
it.
way, one of you guys can pull it up and show it.
Okay. I
I
saw
got
that when I typed in lone sailor.
That'd be
This just
pretty
needs
cool.
a-
That's probably one of the more iconic sailor statues or images.
I just need to make a few little adjustments on this, but Patrick, the file was absolutely perfect. Came out perfect.
It looks really nice in acrylic. I like it.
It does. It looks really nice.
Can the talon be used with the laser matic? Oh, go ahead with that one.
A few different types of plastic or acrylic from a friend that works at a plastic plant. I suppose there isn't a way to tell what they are. I don't know what test you would use to find out whether it's extruded or not. Or
Well,
cast.
the best way to tell is first indication would be it's covered in plastic and not paper.
Right.
Second would be is when you peel the plastic back, if you see
Bubbles.
exposed air bubbles in the surface of it. And 2 or 3 would be if you look at the side of it. Extruded acrylic will have a little bit more of a haze in it. Not enough to make it like where it's not translucent, but if you look at it through the side of it, you'll see it typically has more cloudiness to it than your cast acrylics. And then you could always light a corner of it on fire. If it puts off a yellowish black smoke, then it's probably polycarbonate. If it's more of like a whitish dark gray color, chances are it's probably cast acrylic.
I think the bubbles would be the first most
Yeah.
obvious thing to look for. The just tiny little bubbles.
Yeah.
Jason, Kevin is asking about the talon. Can it be used on a diode laser?
Yeah, we've had them on several diode lasers because all of our rotaries except for the Ascend Pro will accept NEMA 23 or NEMA 17 motors. They got a dual motor mounting system. So basically all we would need to know is what size motor you need to make it work, but and then the connection, of course. But other than that, I mean, as long as it runs on Lightburn, ArtieWorks, or EasyCAD, we can get a solution for you.
Awesome. Herb is saying came out nice. His is on wood, but his laptop loves it. Yeah, your laptop will run
Oh, nice.
much cooler. I'm going to bring this one in the house and leave it on the windowsill for my grandson because he's constantly on the laptop every day when he comes home from school.
That was a fun little file to make in Lightburn. Just
Yeah.
start from start.
Yeah,
from scratch.
I love it. I think it came out great. I was really worried about running something that I'd never seen before, live tonight, but this came out absolutely fantastic. I have to make a couple of little adjustments. It's so tight right now. See, I can't even bend it. It just everything snapped into place, but I just need to move it a couple little spots on here, and it's going to be absolutely perfect. This one needs to get seated a little bit better, but yeah, this is a great project. I love it. Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome. I like the acrylic birch. I'm glad you did acrylic.
Let me turn off my air extraction. It's making a lot of noise in here.
Yeah, mine too.
Same.
All right, we're almost up to our hour. Yeah, Gwen. So that's if it's not like almost a clear white like you saw coming off of my laser a little bit earlier. If it's sort of like a cloudy, puffy white when you have the extruded, and I didn't even realize that with the GWE when I first used one of their pieces of acrylic that it wasn't cast. I can't imagine why they would send that out with the laser as samples, but it sure as heck wasn't. I realized that a little too late.
I mean, extruded is not in and of itself bad. Extruded, I would actually argue that it probably engraves a little bit better.
Yeah, more white. Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah,
the problem with it is not so much the engraving or cutting. It's just the overall look of it and kind of what you're doing.
Right.
But poly is something completely different though.
Yeah.
That's the bad stuff.
Kind of would mimic polycarbonate. So if you aren't sure which one you have, you could have polycarbonate instead of extruded acrylic.
Yeah. So Jason, we got a question for you. Does the Apple Air USA filtration work with the fiber laser for dust?
Yeah, any of them will work for that. The best option probably is going to be the F40D that we were talking about earlier. One, it's a cheaper. Two, it's portable. And three, the main function of that is your dust and vapor. It's not necessarily going to get rid of all the smell, especially with acrylic and MDF and things like that, or leather. But the main points of it is taking away the smoke and taking away the VOCs. Well, the dust too. The dust inherently is going to be part of that, but it's not necessarily going to get rid of the smells.
Yeah. How many microns does that filter down to, Jason?
I think that one's down to, I'd have to look. I think it's like 0.3, something like that. It's still pretty good, but
anything under 0.5,
the other ones are
anything under 0.5 is like ingestible.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is, like, it's going to get rid of all of the smoke, two, the dust or debris, and then three is going to be more of the heavy particulate or the VOCs of that that material. So you're going to limit, or depending on the machine, eliminate that whole scratchy, rough feeling in your throat and your sinuses and the burning in your eyes and things like that. You're gonna nearly eliminate it with the smaller one. The bigger ones will pretty much completely eliminate it, but those are the main things that you're worried about. The smell, I mean, yeah, it stinks, but you're not actually breathing in those particles and the VOCs from whatever it is you're engraving or cutting is the big thing.
On the F40D, it says you can supply a hood, a telescopic fume system, or a hose, depending on the person's needs. So
Well, right now,
all those covered.
Right now, we're just doing the D, which the D signifies ducted, and then we have a V, or H, which is the hooded. But either one of them, they could be transformed into either version. But the version I ordered was intentionally ducted. That way you can run multiple hoses off of it or whatever for your different machines, things
Right.
like that. But yes, you can get that kind of bamboo flexible hood
Yeah.
Right.
vent and actually attach to it instead. We don't have any of those available right now because we're just trying to get things in and see kind of where the market wants to
Yeah.
take us. But it is something that we'll be looking at in the future. And we also have a fiber cutting filtration as well that is more geared towards fiber cutting or metal cutting. But I mean, nothing that we use or most of us use on a daily basis is going to require needed we'll have available as well.
Right. So we are approaching. We just hit that 1 hour mark, and I'm sorry that I'm cutting things short tonight. But Jeremy, did you finish your file?
I did.
Oh, let's take a look at that before we head out. So that's straight
So-
off the laser.
Straight off the laser. You'll notice that the shades are a crosshatch to change it up. And
Nice.
this
Oh, cool.
piece right here in the middle is this piece that comes with it, and it cuts the letters out. And so after I stained the letters, I just placed this on here with some tape, glue the letters inside that, and then pick this piece off the top. And that
And it turns
it's on
into
both pieces, and that gives you this.
perfect. Wow, that looks
Oh, very
great.
cool.
And you can see
Very
the
cool.
shading with the crosshatch. And this is just yellow spray paint that I did very lightly to get that color, and it turned out pretty dang good.
I
And
like
my
the
daughter
colors.
did the green on the bottom.
Your daughter did a great job. I love that. Came out great.
Yeah, she did excellent. She
Nice.
chose 2 colors and didn't tell me.
Well, she chose the right 2 colors.
Shows the
And
right
she
one.
probably did better than you would have.
Yes, she did. That's why I took it to her. She's 12. So
Okay, everybody. I'm cutting it short tonight because of what I've been through over the last week. And I'm sorry, guys, but we're going to call it a wrap for tonight. 2 great projects, 3 great people on the show tonight, 4 great people. I'm going to call myself great.
Yeah, you do.
And
I
think
thought you were leaving me out there for a second.
no, I left me out. And I want to give a special thanks to that guy right down there, Jason from Rotoboss and Apple Air USA. Please go and check out his website, rotaryattachments.com or appleairusa.com, and think seriously about your smoke extraction. I put a lot of money into it lately. I'm not completely set up with it yet. And in fact, it's still in the delivery phase, but I haven't been working for the last couple of weeks, so that's okay. But I wish I would have known about all of this before I even got started. But anyway, thank you so much, Jason, for coming on with us tonight. We really appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody out there for joining us for another really great, successful live stream and a couple of great projects. So we will be back in 2 weeks. The following Saturday night, 2 weeks, Saturday night. Go ahead.
I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I show you how I made those 2 pieces. So
Cool. Yep. So
You wanna
jump
see
over. Yeah, jump over to Jeremy's channel if you want to learn more about his project. Patrick's project went off without a hitch. Absolutely perfect. The only thing I did was put a 0.1 outward kerf on the cut, and it just all snapped together. Absolutely perfect. Thank you again, Patrick. And
You're
I want to thank everybody out there for watching tonight. And we really appreciate you joining us for the live stream. See you again in 2 weeks.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
bye, guys.